Persuasion is a bad idea, and the remainder of this blog will be devoted entirely to convincing you exactly of that fact. Now, the art of persuasion is based on several very dubious assumptions. For example, the other party is either uninformed or ill-informed, so we go about the business of informing them. Well, problems begin to arise. You see, people don't like being characterized as ignorant or stupid. Okay? So guess what? The defense mechanisms go up. And rather than admit they are wrong, they may tend to dig in and double down. Or they may believe that you are ill-informed, and they will begin to point out the flaws in your logic, and if they can find even one crack in your story, it will discredit everything that you have to say on the topic. You know, Lee Strobel was an atheist, and he set out to prove his case. Well, in the process, he became a Christian. In his book, The Case for Christ, he documents his journey from atheism to Christianity. You know, get real. How often does it happen that the other person says, you know, I've considered the facts that you've presented, and I realize that I have been wrong all of this time, and you are right. Where do I sign up for your cause? Well, you know, even if you are able to change their mind, you have done so at a very high cost. You have hurt their self-esteem. We can ill afford many such victories. Here's another example. Disparaging their decision is the first step. Okay. Now, I'm amazed that how many people believe that if they can somehow disparage the object of my affection, that will somehow persuade me and attract me to the object of their affection. Let me get this right. Let's presume that I drive a Ford and you're a Chevy person, okay? And you confront me with a litany of defects in Chevrolet products or in Ford products. Well, you've insulted me. I like my Ford. Furthermore, even if you could get me to believe your low opinion of a Ford, you haven't given me even one reason to buy a Chevrolet. Yet people invest heavily in this strategy, especially during campaign season. Now let's assume for a moment that you are successful in persuading me that Ford is no good. And in doing so, you've hurt my pride. You've made me feel like an idiot. You can ill afford many such victories. Oh, it's only logical. Far from it. Most important decisions are based on ideas, abstractions, faith, feeling, and the pursuit of happiness. Anything but logic. You don't believe me? Marriage. Did you get married for a tax deduction? Divorce. Yeah, I'm gonna solve all these problems. No, you're gonna start a new set of problems. Buying a car. Do you know that once people get the car fever, they're gonna buy a car in 72 hours? Do you really need a car within the next 72 hours? Gambling. Legions of people flock to the casinos, somehow believing that they are going to beat the odds. It's not logical. Political candidates. Oh, here's my favorite one. Having a baby. Yes, we have decided to have a baby because procreation is necessary for survival of the species. We don't want the human race to become extinct. That's why we had a baby. All of these are very important decisions, but they are seldom driven by logic. Now, yes, logic comes into play, but only after we've made the decision. Okay? Well, let's presume for a moment that you're really good at it and you're able to use your logic and your persuasive skills. Well, you better be darn good at it, okay? Because you'll need to be. You see, if you can talk someone into something, someone else can talk them out of it. Many such victories you can ill afford. You know, the Bible has a lot of examples, and there are some rare and very notable exceptions, but the overall tone in the Bible is to proclaim rather than to persuade. Let's look at some verses. If you do this thing and God so commands, then you will be able to endure. And all these people also will go to their place in peace. That's in Exodus 18:23. Here's a good one. Put on the full armor of God so that you will be able to stand firm against the schemes of the devil. Ephesians 6:11. Be on the alert. Stand firm in the faith. Act like men. Be strong. 1 Corinthians 16:13. Now that we lord it over your faith, not that we lord it over your faith, but are workers with you for your joy. For in your faith you are standing firm. 2 Corinthians 1:24. Or should I say 2 Corinthians 1:24. For we have become partakers of Christ if we hold fast the beginnings of our assurance firm until the end. Hebrews 3:14. You know, I could go on and on, but notice that the recurring theme is not persuasion. You know, I'm a big fan of the full armor passage found in Ephesians 6, chapter 6, verses 10 through 18. When my daughter was 4 years old, she could recite it verbatim from memory. She was so zealous about citing the full armor passage that she once approached our associate pastor and began to witness to him using those verses. I'm proud of her. Thanks for enduring that. Notice that the elements of the full armor passage are defensive in nature. Now, I'll actually save that sermon for another blog, but my understanding is that we are not called to oppress evil. That's the job of the Holy Spirit. We are called to stand firm in our faith and proclaim the truth. Well, that's what I think, but I am interested in your thoughts, and there is a lot of ways you can hit me up, so let me hear from you. You can leave your comments down below. You can connect with me on Twitter. I am at DataGenesis. And you could subscribe to this YouTube channel. And you can also subscribe to the text version of this blog at my blog site, datagenesis.wordpress.com. You know, I know of a place where a group of people proclaim the truth. It's not a place where we, bash other ideas. It's a place where we proclaim a positive message. And it's open 24/7. It starts with a chat room. And maybe you've been to chat rooms and didn't think much of them. Or maybe you've never been. But I would encourage you to visit our chat room because it's more than a chat room. Above the chat room, we have inspiring videos. This is one of them. And some of the others are way better. So we get uplifted and we get a better grounding in our faith and we share a positive message. And we also we don't have a holy huddle. We actually dispatch those messages through tweet buttons. You can send out 50 positive, inspiring, truth-proclaiming tweets without typing a single word. It's really great. Hope you'll check it out. Just go to patriotjournalist.com and find the links underneath live #rallies. Well, I hope you've been persuaded, although for reasons I have enumerated above, it is unlikely that you have been. But thank you so much for sharing this time with me today.